Wow, it has been a long, long time. How's it going, everyone? This is Childhood DVD Fan here. It's kind of early in the morning, so I can't be too loud about this one. Now, I just want to start off by saying that I apologize that I've been gone for like 3 months. That wasn't my intention at all. It just happened that way. It wasn't my plan at all. But, it just happened to go that way. I don't plan on being gone for that long again. But I don't know. Just things in life came up, and I was gone for you know longer than I thought. But anyways, guys, I apologize that I'm a little bit late. Talking about this. This is like maybe like 4 or 5 days old. I was planning on doing it sooner, talking about what I'm about to talk about, but you know, just was busy with things. But anyways, this is something that someone has already asked me in the comments section. What I thought about this, and I told them that I would make a video, about this. So, what am I going to be talking about? I'm pretty sure you guys have a good idea from the title and from what you're seeing right now. But Paramount Plus has, Nickelodeon, Viacom, whatever, has decided to make a Zoey 101 trilogy, basically, or, a sequel or whatever, entitled Zoey 102. Now, this Zoey 102 features most of the original cast. Now, I don't have the sheet in front of me on the whole lineup of who's going to be there, who's not going to be there. So all this is coming from memory. So if I'm wrong, because obviously by the time this video is uploaded, I'll have double checked. So if I have any information wrong, go check the description below. If I, say what I'm about to say is incorrect. Otherwise, you'll see in the description that I was correct with everything. But if there's even one mistake, I will let you guys know about. So most of the original cast from Zoey 101 is going to be a part of this. But who is not going to be a part of this is Paul Butcher, who played Dustin Brooks, who was Zoe Brooks' younger brother. Victoria Justice, who played Lola Martinez from seasons 2 through 4. Kristen Herrera, who played Dana Cruz in season 1, and then the obvious one, I mean, there was no way that she was ever going to come back, and that's Alexa Nicholas, who played Nicole Bristow from seasons 1 through 2. And then also Austin Butler, who played James Garrett in season 4, will also not be a part of this. Another name that I'm not too sure if this person is going to be a part of this or not is Vince Blake, played by Brando Eaton from seasons 3 through 4. There's a few other characters, like Christopher Murray, who played Dean Rivers, the principal from seasons 1 through 4. A few other characters that I might be forgetting about at the moment. Who is going to be a part of this is Jamie Lynn Spears, obviously, who played Zoe Brooks, the main character. Aaron Sanders, who played Quinn Penske, seasons 1 through 4. Chris Massey, who played Michael Barrett, seasons 1 through 4. Matthew Underwood, who played Logan Reese, seasons 1 through 4. And then also you have two other side characters coming back. You have Abby Wildy as Stacy Dilson, and then you have Jack Salvatore Jr. as Mark Del Figolo. And Stacy, I believe she came in season 3, through 4, and then Mark Del Figolo played, seasons 1 through 4. Anyways, so, and then the premise of this that we've been told, and I know that this is kind of a, we're like 4 or 5 minutes and I still haven't given my thoughts, but, sorry. It's the morning, I gotta be quiet. The premise of this is that, they're gonna be like at a wedding. Somebody's getting married. It's unclear if it's any of the cast members that are getting married. I assume that it wouldn't be Zoey and Chase, and I almost forgot to mention Sean Flynn, who played Chase Matthews, is also going to be a part of this. Stupid me for forgetting this, but I don't believe that Zoey and Chase are getting married, but I don't know. We'll have to see. But anyways, so what are my thoughts on this? Well, it's not going to be a reboot, and I'm thankful that it's not going to be a reboot because, with missing characters and the fact that it's been over 15 years and so much has changed, it would be kind of weird to see a reboot. It really would be. So I'm glad that we're not getting a reboot. I'm glad that this is probably going to be a one and done. Now, would I have preferred to see this? No, because, so much has changed and, there's a lot of behind the scenes, things, obviously, that have kind of, changed how a lot of people view this project. A lot of people are not excited for this at all because, let's be honest here, Jamie Lynn Spears is a pretty horrible person, and, she kind of gets whatever she wants, basically, and she's a manipulator and con artist, scamming the fans of Zoey 101 when, the first reboot was going to come around, that I was against. I've talked about the whole, Veeps, like, Zoom thing failure. I could talk more about it if you want me to. But in any ways, I love Zoe Brooks, but I'm not a fan of Jamie Lynn Spears. And, this is the same network that's picking up the series that covers their own abuse, that Alexa Nicholas had to go through. And so there's a lot of, things that go on behind the scenes. But also, I've said this before, with the iCarly reboot that came, about, unfortunately. But for me personally, it's not a complete project unless everybody is there. And you have a bunch of characters here that are not going to be a part of this, Dustin, Lola, James Garrett, even though he's, part of one season, Vince Blake, possibly, Dean Rivers, all these other characters that are not going to be part of this not even this reboot, this like movie thing. I keep calling it reboot. I think this whole movie thing. So it really doesn't feel like a full, reunion movie like the Drake and Josh, Merry Christmas Drake and Josh. We got that one, TV movie, but nobody was missing, everybody was there who was, a big contributor. I mean, you had some characters, obviously, that weren't there, but they were like, one-time characters or whatever. I'm talking about, like, all the main characters were there. Even some of the reoccurring characters were there, and that was a one-time thing, and thankfully, we got that movie. I love that movie, and there's no need for Drake and Josh to ever come back, and, especially with the whole Drake Bell thing. There's no need. Thankfully, that, possible reboot thing that Josh was, wanting to really just fuck up, thankfully didn't happen. But with this, let me just say this right now. I support this a little bit more than I do with the iCarly reboot. Now, you may be saying, why do I support this, a little bit more than the iCarly reboot? And I'll tell you the number one reason why. Even though the title is very similar. Zoey 102. It says Zoey 101. It's at least not the same thing, because the product that we're going to get is not going to be the same thing. If they were to call this Zoey 101 again, I would have even a bigger problem with this than I did the iCarly reboot, especially since when it comes to the iCarly reboot, you know, even if it's just a movie, you know, whatever. I keep saying reboot, you know, sorry, forgive me. You know what I'm talking about. You know, Jeanette McCurdy wasn't a part of the iCarly reboot. You know, Noah Monk, Gibby wasn't a part of it. You know, you had all these other main characters, you know, that weren't a part of it. And at least with this Zoey 102, it appears to be a one-time movie on Paramount Plus. You know, a one and done. You know, even though there's going to be multiple characters missing. The premise is kind of like intriguing. I'm interested to see where this whole wedding thing goes. You know, it's kind of random, but you know, it's kind of it's different. You know, we'll just have to see where this all goes. If this wedding has to do with any of the main or reoccurring characters at all, or if it's, you know, some completely new characters that we've never seen before. You know, I'm intrigued when I watch this to see, you know, who's getting married. You know, this is a little bit interesting to me because it's kind of random, and this is really the first time. I mean, you know, you had the All That kind of sketch where a lot of the original cast, you know, there was obviously missing, you know, characters, but a lot of the original cast was part of the All That, you know, kind of sketch, you know, with Jamie Lynn Spears and the crew. And, you know, there's been times that most of the cast has reunited, you know, since 2019 with outside projects and whatever. But this is really going to be the first time. And, you know, there was the Zoey 101 music video that was awful, where a lot of the main characters came back to do this, you know, one-time music video with these TikTok stars and whatever. It was a complete scam, complete joke. But this is really going to be the first time that we see, like, more than a 5-minute acting, you know, phenomenon with a lot of our childhood characters from the original Zoey 101. So really, this is like it, you know. It ended up not being a reboot, it appears, but, you know, it ended up being like a movie thing. And obviously, the only reason that this is happening is because, you know, Paramount did the experiment with the iCarly reboot, and unfortunately, it worked out better for them than I had hoped it would, because we got multiple seasons after the original show had already ended. Even though I was never going to be a fan of the reboot because just things were so different than the original. Like, if you're when something is not going to be the same as before, don't use the same title. And even though Zoey 102 is very similar to Zoey 101, it's at least not the same exact title. So that's why I can support this project a little bit more, because it's not exactly the same thing as before. And this is already going to be a downgrade to begin with because all those characters are missing. So I'm intrigued, you know, to watch this. I really am. Now, you know, it's not something I'm really going to be like, oh my God, like, I can't wait to watch. Like, I'll check it out, you know, because obviously, I mean, if you say to me that, you know, Matthew Underwood, you know, Jamie Lynn Spears and, you know, Chris Massey and Sean Flynn and Aaron Sanders are all going to be acting together, you know, one more time, I'll definitely check it out. I mean, come on. I mean, they were, you know, most of those cats were, you know, my childhood, man. You know, Zoey 101 was my second favorite Nickelodeon show of all time growing up. So I'm interested to kind of see where all this goes. It's kind of random, but this is going to be the first time since 2007 that a lot of these characters are going to be back in a real acting type of way, besides it all that sketch that they were part of for a few minutes. Now you're saying, well, didn't Zoey 101 last air in 2008? Yes, it aired in 2008, but the last time that they filmed and the last time that they were, part of the huge production was 2007. I was 7 years old at the time. I'm going to be 23 in less than a month. So it's been a very, very long time since these characters have been on screen in new acting roles, in new acting scenes, etc. So I'm definitely interested. This one, I think, has a more interesting plot than the iCarly reboot to me. I'm definitely more intrigued, by this movie, whatever. I hope that this is a one and done. I really do. I mean, if they are going to, continue down the road, I hope that they don't go back to the Zoey 101 name. Keep Zoey 101 gone forever. That name, leave it in the past. Leave it for the original show, because that, to me, was Zoey 101, the original run. Nothing they could ever do in the future would be Zoey 101 anymore. Zoey 102, very similar, but at least it's a little bit different this time. It's not iCarly. Why couldn't they have just said iCarly 2.0? Would that have been so hard? Did they have to say iCarly and use the same name again when they knew that the product that they were going to give is completely downgraded from the original? Makes no sense to me. And of course, iCarly is going to come back with like their 8th or 9th season when you count all of the original 6 seasons, which I've said before that the original iCarly went on way longer than it should have. I'm saying for the original iCarly, the original iCarly was good from seasons 1 through 3. Once you got to season 4, that's when things started to go downhill. And then you have all these additional seasons with this reboot thing. Just doesn't make a lot of sense to me. But anyways, guys, let me know in the comments below what you think of this. I'm sorry if my thoughts were kind of, basic and vague, but, there's really not too much to talk about here because we don't really know a whole lot. We just know that a lot of, the original characters, excluding some big names, are coming back and they're having this wedding thing, and, and filming's taking place in North Carolina as we speak, and it's just kind of like you have to wait to see more of what's going to happen. We don't really know a whole lot of details yet. But, you can check this out on Paramount Plus sometime later this year. I'll make a follow-up video, which is going to be much shorter than this. Telling you guys what the date is for when this is going to first air on Paramount Plus later this year. And I guess until then, just, watch out for that date. My opinion is that this is probably going to air around the fall time. I would say between August through November. So, like, basically towards the end of summer through November, I would say those are the months that I would suspect most likely that this project will air at. So we just gotta, wait till then. So anyways, this has been Childhood DVD Fans. So long, everyone.